Very, very like precious. So
Yes.
just get on to the matter. It's a pleasure to be connected with all of you. My name is Dr. Shonwoke. John GNT 2014 was I would say it was one of the biggest decisions I made that transformed my results. I joined for personal development, right? I joined because I was in the network marketing industry and I had a team of about 2,000 people, and I knew I needed to grow me because the rate at which my team was growing, I needed to add some value. So that's what brought me to GNT. But I found the materials to be amazing. I've not made money with my GNT really, but I've used it to grow me. So the next phase of it now is let us use this material and let's go make some money. So I thank God Collins, we connected in Nigeria and we had some amazing discussions. And
I know, I can't believe how clear the video is there, Collins.
What
you
did
have
you
all
say?
the gadgets.
Well, we thank God. Light no deal. All this how they talk. They sweat. No light.
Are you kidding?
Yes, sir.
We don't understand what light is in this country.
Sorry.
Nigerian people.
Sun is still shining, eh?
Light. I'll carry some and I'll post some to you. Eh? But let's go.
No, don't worry. We'll start exporting light soon.
You see?
That cannot. That is a prayer, because to be honest, they said the U.S. crude oil is getting better than is selling more than our oil. So where is the hope? Only God will help us.
We have plenty things to sell.
We have too much of everything in abundance. It's just leadership and a lot of resource management. That's what we need. That's what.
Okay, so should I introduce myself?
Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, so my name is Patience Ogumbono. Contrary to the Ogumbono, I'm not Yoruba.
I know.
I am from Kogi State. I am Igala.
Igala.
So my husband, I married Yoruba, Abeokuta, where I've just come back last week, Monday, from partying and Owambe stuff. It was a heavy party. One my father will cringe at because he doesn't do Yoruba people over. He said Yoruba people are over the top. I said, well, I'm one of them now. Sorry.
You're one of us.
Anyway, I joined GMT 2016.
Okay.
Partly I had already been on a personal development journey, reading books and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was looking for how I'll begin to express my gifting and calling, which I felt was really tugging at me for a while, but I didn't know through which vehicle basically I would express it. So I guess I came in contact with John Maxwell through Minute with Maxwell.
Okay.
And I actually joined GMT purposefully to do transformation work, so I didn't know that was a separate arm of John Maxwell, which is, I didn't know that GMT was separate from doing all the transformation Costa Rica and transformation stuff that he does.
Yeah.
So I joined it initially in that ignorance, thinking I just want to travel with this guy and make a difference in the world, kind of thing. So when I was told more, I thought, well, yeah, I could reach the world and everything. But then they now told me, if you don't join mentorship, you're not going to go out to Costa Rica. I was like, oh, for goodness sake. Well, it's been a very good journey. Like yourself, I was working and trying to kind of set it up. I joined 2016, but didn't use the material much because of illness. I'm just beginning to get over a hurdle of ill health, to be honest. So then ill health prevented me, but John Maxwell came to Belgium in October of that year, and he kind of lit the fire to say, start doing something with this material. So I was still working. I was working in the city. So qualified accountant and auditor as well. So I started to then do little masterminds here and there. Like yourself, I can't say that I've made any money from it, but I didn't really focus on it. I was just trying to build profile. I was trying to build my network. I was trying to build my while I was working. But by November, health, personal tragedies, and everything just meant that I had to choose. If I was going to live a fulfilled life, I really had to choose whether I drop one. And I really did not want to drop my job Maxwell. I felt like I could postpone my work and go back to it if I wanted to. But I needed to build this because this for me was going to be my legacy.
Wow.
So November last year, in the midst of tragedies and everything, I took a break from work, and then I kind of looked after sick people and everything. So I really just actually started sometime in February to start really digging in more. So that's me in a nutshell.
Fantastic. So great to hear that. Colin.
Me, 2015, I joined to make money. Okay? All of you nice people.
Honestly, it's the best policy. Love it.
You guys are so nice. You want to grow the world, and I joined. I saw the name. I've seen the book. They say become part of the team. I can use this name. Let me connect one hand, please. Yeah, but it's been interesting. I can say that I've been using the name. And in using the name, what I've found is that many of us who are on the team don't know how to use the name. Yeah. We're such nice people. We want to share with the world. But even John is a nice person. He wants to share with the world, but you spent almost 10 grand to be part of that journey.
He collects money.
You know? So my attention has shifted a bit to GMTers because there's so much potential. Yes, it's not being utilized.
Yeah.
So let's show people how you can actually make money and at the same time make impact. It's called social impact. That's where the world is going to.
Yeah.
You know, aid is becoming something else, and social impact is becoming the name of the game. So that's where I'm at, to at least point the torch to as many people as will catch the fire. That look, you can leverage this and still make impact. You know? After all, what do people pay for? People don't pay for crap. Don't mind my English. People pay for something that is worth it. Yeah. So you pay for a house because you want to use it. The house is worth something to you. You pay for a car because it's worth something to you. So people should pay you actually as a sense of you knowing of your worth. Because if they're not paying you, and there's a problem. So that's where we are.
Okay.
All right. I said I'm eating tiger nuts. So if you
what do you do other than JMT?
What do I do? I try to make money.
Other than JMT?
Ego. Money is my middle name.
I can see Ego on your pillow now. That is a Chanel pillow you're lying on. I can see.
Well, my wife and I are into light manufacturing.
Okay.
Yeah, in the agri space.
That's ironic. Light manufacturing, you don't have light.
No, not
light
as in
L-I-G, light.
Yeah, it's still the same thing, just
okay.
Not heavy manufacturing.
Okay,
we process farm items. We make finished products out of them. Right now, focusing on shea butter.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
that's good.
So there should be a market in Belgium for us.
Belgium? I don't live in Belgium. I wish I did live in Belgium.
Where do you live? Okay.
Okay, with Shehu. Shehu is not very far from me.
No, we live in this same Kent though. We live in this same Kent.
Me, I knew that one day everything will work out because last year I was jumping up and down. Oh, who is in Kent? Who is this? I shouted everywhere. I went on the Europe page. Nobody answered me.
Really? I didn't see that.
I'm telling you, nobody answered me. Not one single person. Not the Igbo people, not the black people.
They don't move like that with us. I've discovered that.
So I guess unrelenting work on Aaron's part, because Aaron came back. He joined JMT last year. He came back. He contacted me. I said, yes, why not? Let's hook up. Then he got busy with his music and dropped that.
Yeah.
So, but suddenly when the Transformation Nigeria thing started, it kind of whipped up another passion in him.
Yeah.
So set this up. Initially, when I saw it, I said, how many group I go deal?
Mm-hmm.
I did Paul Martinelli learning all those things, it tire me. But then I saw that maybe this has a direction to because the Europe group seems to have given up. When I spoke to them, Andy in February, he was like, "Oh, everybody wants to mind their own thing."
Wow.
And so they give up. But I think we can show that the UK can pick up. And I think this can even be bigger. Partly because they've been trying to make the profile of the UK itself more than it is. You know, the Romanians, so they now have JMT really profile. They were prominent in February when I went for IMC.
Okay.
The Romanians and one other group, I've forgotten, but they are really prominent now. So you have, just like you have the Spanish, you know, and you have the Americans, you have the Romanians, which are not as big as UK, but they've really made their presence by togetherness. They've made their presence known and felt in GMT to the point that, you know, when they put out tables and say the Romanians are here, this are there, they actually profiled them for last month's, for February's IMC. That's how well they have done and how backward UK is.
And we started this before them.
Eh?
I said, we start. You see, in 2014, I tried to pull Andy Hall, you know, to myself, you know, at this very no, Tony had is it Andy or Tony?
Tony Lynch.
Tony Lynch.
It's Andy, Tony, and Neil.
Yes, I was there for his first live and is it Live to Learn or
Live to Lead?
Live to Lead, something like that. The very first one, I rallied around people to make sure that we all go there to support him, so that in the view that okay, by the following year we could be able to do something. They're just looking at that. The following year, you know, I partnered with what's his name, Deroy.
Delroy.
Yeah, Deroy.
Yeah.
To say, okay, let's do this together, you know. But he seems to think that concentrating on the church, you know, he had the word of one bishop to say, okay, they can do it. I said, my crowd will not follow. If we are looking at corporate, we will not use the church as a venue. It won't work. Let's get a visitor place. Let's get an hotel. He said, so I just pulled back. He did what he wanted to do, but it didn't really, you know, last moment, it didn't pan out so well, right?
He's doing okay now, Delroy, yeah.
Yeah. So that was when I announced it back saying, you know what, I'm not sure about this partnership thing because it seems I spent a lot of time, you know, and it's not just kicking off. So yeah, okay. Now we can move forward. You know, when I got talking to Aaron, you know, just like, oh yeah, James here, you know, we just reconnected on Facebook actually. And then that was when we got talking. Collins are like, guys, put something together and let's see what we can do. And the other thing that's happening in Nigeria, I think Collins, you know, will brief us about it if there's a way the UK team, especially because we are all Nigerians, can part of the deer in Nigeria. So Collins, over to you.
Okay. Don't mind me. I'm just enjoying tiger nuts. You guys get tiger nuts there?
What? Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So.
It's not No, we don't. We don't get ayao.
Hi. No,
what's tiger nut actually?
Tiger nut.
What does it look like?
Aya is what it is. I don't know.
What's aya?
Tiger nut is what Oyibo is calling it. Google it, please.
Let me see. Let me see. Show me.
Okay. It's
I'm not sure I've seen it before.
You must have. It's very well. It's popular in the north.
Yeah,
I don't know whether the south and whatever is popular there, but Aya is very popular.
Okay, I'll check it out. Tiger nut. All right. So, Collins.
All right. One of the things I've noticed is operating in silos. And even when we want to operate as a group, everyone has some agenda that is, that doesn't flow with the group. So this time around, what we're doing in Nigeria is to say, hey, look, if there's a part, this is the agenda. If you want to key in. It's your personal agenda, quite all right, but it's on a group platform that you can use. And what's that? You want to be visible. You want to begin to make money. You want to have a clout, something that somebody recognizes. Say, oh look, it's like saying I'm a Rotarian. People look at you in a particular way. How do you do that and at the same time continue to make impact? And because I tried to do the transformation in Nigeria, I tried to follow the pattern that they've used in Guatemala, Paraguay, and I realized that it wasn't going to work that way. It was not. I'd met with the people that the team had come into Nigeria to meet, all the way to NOA, the presidency, people that they'd met. It just wasn't going to work the same way that it worked for them in other countries. We had to do this a little bit differently. So now is, what's your agenda? The main thing is this platform will create visibility for you. It'll still help you make impact, make money. And that's the agenda you can key in. So it's not pushing Colin's agenda. Is that Colin's agenda aligns with what we're trying to do. So when Aaron said, hey, look, can we form Transformation UK? I said, you don't need anybody's permission to form it. The only thing is those who would join you, if there's an alignment of goals, then it will not be restrictive. It will not be something that will put us back. It will be something that can actually move people forward. And frankly, moving forward is, if I don't care who gets accolades really, and I really want to get something done, then we would actually move forward. But where we begin to fight that, oh no, it has to be Sean's thing, it has to be Patient's stuff, it has to be Aaron's stuff, nothing really gets done. So the question is, okay, while you're in the UK, what can we do in the UK? What would you want to happen? Because that's the first thing. What do you want to happen? And can we replicate it? There's a huge Black community. The Black community doesn't operate like the rest of the world, but it's been ignored for too long. And we need to begin to key into that Black community. Not in terms of business, in terms of a lot of things. I had a meeting at the AU last week. The representative of the African Union to the ambassador to the US mission. She said something that I've been thinking about, but she actually brought out statistics. That Jewish money rotates more than 10 times. Same thing with the Chinese, same thing with Lebanese, Indians. White money. But Black money doesn't go around this Black community once. We work so hard. The minute we're paid, we're hustling to go and give it back. So if not a Chanel bag today is something, well, we actually give it back. If you open a Black restaurant today, likelihood that people will visit the Black community will rally around you is tough. I left DC for Maryland. My cousins asked me to come over. So I spent a couple of hours with them. We went to a Chinese restaurant, big Chinese restaurant, filled with Black people. Yeah, and the Chinese were there as well, right? And I was told that the Chinese don't eat anywhere else.
No.
Then there was a Black restaurant, but that has been closed down. That shouldn't be. So we need to begin to re-educate our people, re-educate our children. And the only way we can do that is to have a common agenda. Guys, you want to make money, right? Let's show you how you can make money. That's usually the common agenda. Let's show you how you can make money. And at the same time, grow this wealth. So, yeah. So, when Aaron said, hey, can we do something, have a leadership summit? I said, yeah, leadership summit. It sounds nice. It sounds interesting. But it has to kick in that you need to, it has to be around how people can actually better themselves. Leadership is great, but how do you tie that leadership into economic well-being?
Yeah.
Because most people are not able to see it. We look at leadership in abstract terms. All joining GMT, I know how I used the materials in my former office. I used to head a joint venture with a Swiss company and a Nigerian company. I know how I use those materials to improve our earnings significantly, and how I've used those leadership strategies to improve earnings of other clients. So I just think that's where we need to look at, because even if you look at the transformation in Nigeria, we structured it in a similar way. Plug in and make money. Commit yourself to it. Plug in. You would make the money. You would give you visibility. We would ensure that you have access to those things. It's now how you leverage it. And if I can help in guiding people leverage it in this manner, fine, I'll also do that. But that's where we're at, and I'm saying, what can we do in the UK as well? What can we do in the UK as well within the African community as a primary target?
So we live very distant. UK is one of those places where the hustle is real, so to speak. And when I say that, I mean people are so focused on their hustle, and when you try to get them to look away and do other things, because, okay, like Sheon said, and like I have said, people are not making money from this. So where you now tell them, shift your attention from your hustle to try to see whether you can make this work. Some people are not willing to put in the work because it's not just the willingness, the time and energy to do it is difficult.
And
so I think the main way would be for us to say, what program are we choosing to do, or are we trying to set up, and then we have a date. I think you guys mentioned something about October and all those things, and do a pilot thing, whether so that we can learn with it, but we can get people to come together, and then we'll know who is actually serious and involved in it from there to be able to scale it beyond that. So we have to probably pilot something, test something, find a central area. It might have to be in London so that everybody is neutral. No, most of us don't live in London, so we'll have to travel to London to do it. So I think those are some of the things we can explore, so that at least we come together and bring each other together, maybe on a physical level, working on things through the group and setting it up. I don't know. That leadership summit might be a good idea.
Okay.
So.
Most people have, I noticed whenever I visit, is most people work for someone. Very few people own their businesses, and even when they do, they're struggling.
Yeah.
Because it seems they haven't understood the system. They just have a business name and they're just struggling. So
the tax system is also tough. The tax and things, and the money that government takes off you is tough. Yeah. So, have you gone off?
No.
Yeah.
I've never used Zoom before. I was just playing around.
Okay.
So my thought would be first to look at that's fine. What is the main pain point of the general public? Tax is an issue, earnings are an issue, time is an issue.
Yeah.
The people who are there, how do you use one session or one meeting to at least begin to address, you may not fully address it, but begin to address some of those challenges around earnings. So for an individual, how can you be more productive with what you already earn? How can you plug in, what you already earn into a system that allows you, some reprieve? Put in the savings account, they're still going to tax your interest. If you make an investment, does it make any difference? I mean, I think it's to do some homework in terms of how these things do, what practical businesses people can do, and those who are in business. If you have a business name, for instance, which is something that you can register in the community and all, But that's no different from you being an individual. So nothing really changes. But if you have a corporate entity that is registered, I don't know whether they call it LLC in your place.
Limited liability. Yeah.
So what changes? How does that help? How does that help you in terms of?
You just have more burdens of reporting to do with limited liability.
Okay.
You get credibility with the UK companies more if you want to do business to business kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So people would obviously be able to check your company registration number on the company registration website, so they feel you are legitimate. But if you are small and you are just starting, it might help with credibility, but then you have your paperwork that you have to do. So that's the other bit. But limited liability means that if you borrow money and you you go bust, at least your personal thing will be protected, and it's only what you put into the business that you can then lose. I think that's the protection. But when you are just starting, there's hardly much that you put into it. So, for example, I'm not limited liability yet because I don't see for me the benefit yet. So I'm just working on my own since I'm actually just building my profile. I'm building my credibility with people. So I think the willingness to actually do here, there is a lot of need to do things for free to get that publicity. Reason being that people don't want to pay for what they cannot guarantee will give them value. Our African people, most especially, also like cheap things, the problem they actually fail to recognize that when they get those cheap things, then they take it home and they don't value it. When you pay for something, you value it. You don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things, if you buy them in pound shop, they'll be sitting in your garage here because it's pound shop, you bought it. So that's the same thing. You find that a lot of Africans don't support Africa. Where you do free things and they come for it, they just dump it. They don't even use it to better themselves. So, and they want quick money. So I realizing that there is a journey to be made. So I think even if we are going to do black, are we going to gain credibility to actually even go after the white community if we possibly could, not just the black community?
No, what we're going to do, we have to open up ourselves, because if you deal with just the black community in this country, you will starve.
Yeah.
Because I've been around them, and we see and especially because I'm a pastor and within the confines of ministry and everything, we are used to not being able to charge because people expect, So I've seen that if you keep moving with that crowd, you will not come out to have the mindset to make money. So in fact, my husband was saying today, pastor, are those the only people you know? Because he knows that when it's pastor that they will either price you down or they are not ready to pay.
No. And they are not actually ready to support.
And they're not even ready to support. I said I was going to launch my community interest company. Nobody really, went after it. But if you say, you are launching church, so if it does not have the name church on it, the church people don't come together to know that the impact of us really is in that community. And I don't need to name it church before I do ministry. You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing I'm saying. So if we want to do this, we will have to come out of all this black pastor thing. I thought it was a strength before, but I don't think it is. We have the numbers as ministers and all of that, but when it comes to money, it is not a strength because
I don't have the numbers, but I have cleverly. So, for example, I'm doing my Global Youth Initiative thing, and I'm getting my connections with white people. End of story. I went ahead and I started looking for the white people who are doing youth work. And lo and behold, the black people I contacted to help amongst the white people disappointed me phenomenally. But the white people, they are signing people up. They are doing all sorts of things, following me like anything because you know. So I don't have an issue. I give to the black people. I don't worry about. For now, I think because I'm building something, I'm not too worried about who is paying, who is not paying for now. I know that I will make the money, and I just need that break, and I just need to add value. But I think for our own purposes, we need to set out a program. It's just like you guys did, which is in Transformation Nigeria. First, we were talking. It didn't go one way. Suddenly, this their thing came up, and you guys just hit the ground running with it. Boom, 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 boom. You know, and things are moving in the in fast speed. I think that's what we need. We need to say, here's a date. Let's test something out. Then we do publicity. You know, we need to do that, and we might need to say, okay, how many of us are there? Let's all pay for a hall. Let's pay for this. Let's put our money together and let's run it. What are we going to run? We need to decide. What materials are we going to use? We need to decide. How are we going to teach people? We need to decide. Is it going to be 3 days, 2 days? And we test it out. You know, we can continue to do Zoom. It's only getting out there, doing one thing and learning from it that will show us what are the real issues. Because all of us have different experience of the real issues, you see, in the different places we live. I've lived in Ashford for 21 years.
Wow.
And I'm literally think like Oyibo people, to be honest. So from that point of view, I will have a different experience to other people. And here, where I live, is very tough to get people to believe in you, to come and do things with you. But I'm persevering, knowing that one day it will change. It's never going to stay the same forever. Change is the most. So, and Sheun will have our own experience. Aaron will have his own experience coming from where he's coming from and being a worship leader. So all we need to do is just come together and test out one thing in a neutral place, which I suggest is London. Yeah. And we can use that as the template to understand where we need to build from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically we'll pick a program, pick a date.
Yeah.
Commit to a minimum number of participants.
Mm-hmm.
So if all 7 of us are committing, assuming we say, okay, each person should be able to ante up 10 participants. So we're looking at handling about 70, no less than 70, maybe 100, and get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, we can make that happen. I said that way we can make that happen. So okay, each person gets on board at least 10
program people. Which of the John Maxwell, which of the GMT programs? Okay. Which of the programs would you think would address some of the issues?
I think put your
that will be homework. I think we should do a homework on that. We should go back and look and do a research and come back with ideas for our next Zoom call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do a bit of research of a needs analysis kind of thing. What are the needs, and which community should we target, or should we just generically target? If we went ahead and spent some time doing some homework and come back with some ideas, then the materials will probably flow from there that are relevant.
Yeah.
Okay. Deadline.
Okay.
I think
when should the next call be? So that means we should have done some work before that time.
That means we should have done some work before that time. Is any other person interested in coming on the deer? Does patients know about the deer?
Eh? Oh yes, yeah. I'm there.
Okay, so what state are you?
I'm one of the 50 there.
Okay, what
so which state? Which state?
Are you doing?
Well, I've asked to do Abuja only because I've lived in England for 21 years. I have no clue. So, and I have family. Most of my family is in Abuja. Only my dad and one of my sisters is living in Kaduna. So I feel like worst case scenario, if I need to find a place to hide or somebody to save me, I'll have family around. So that's basically the only reason why I chose that, because I was kind of even thinking to myself, should I throw my heart in and just do any state? Because for me, it doesn't matter. It's just adding value. And for me, it's an experience just to see what will come out of me working in Nigeria. I was saying it to my family when I went for the party that I'm trusting God to work it, not knowing that this was in the pipeline happening and I was just prophetic. I absolutely did not know. Sorry?
I think you just this will go off any moment from now. If it goes off, we can come back to conclude. Because it's just like,
oh yeah, because it's the free one, isn't it? 40 minutes. Okay.
Okay,
it keeps us in check. Abuja is good, Abuja is great. But Lagos and Abuja are flogged.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm not confident and brave enough to do anywhere else. Because I was thinking, okay, should I do all those Oyo, Ogun, and all those places where my in-laws are as well? Maybe I'll get support. But I don't, for my first one, I kind of feel quite exposed. And I was saying to Clara, I said, in a leap of faith, I'm like jumping and growing many scattered feathers. Not just wings.
So, you parachute.
I know. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, if you guys have to modify things, I'll be a hand on the ground to see what happens.